What's up, everybody? Chuck Bailey with the Bass Channel here, and if you're noticing, it looks a little different as far as how this is being filmed. We didn't do that on purpose, but maybe we did. We're keeping it real informal to stay in line with what Chris has already started off. It's Gear Talk, and you know, I'm pretty excited for this Gear Talk because while we may be, I guess, late to the party, it's still relatively new as far as their models go. And you know, we've seen so much buzz, and there's been so much talk, both in positive and negative respects, for SIRE basses and SIRE bass guitar. Start your SIRE journey. This is fresh out the gig bag. I reached out to SIRE, told them that we were super interested in featuring their newest models on the channel, the P5 and the D5. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I was a little hesitant with the whole SIRE brand because I bought in because I had a lot of really good friends that were all in for SIRE, and they had nothing but tremendous things to say. And you know, I trust a lot of these guys, you know, opinions and stuff when we talk at NAMM and stuff like that. And they were telling me, they're like, "Oh, dude, SIRE, SIRE, SIRE." And I didn't get a chance at NAMM to try them because I was, you know, if you've ever been to NAMM, it's kind of crazy. But you know, I didn't forget, and I went on their website when I got back. I bought one of their, I think it was one of their first models. I think it was called the V3. It was their earliest models. It was a jazz bass. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't like it. I wasn't really happy with the tone, and it was super heavy. I want to say that bass was hitting the scales at like 10 or 11 pounds. And if you're gigging, you know, a lot, 2, 3, 4 times a week, having a bass that heavy, it could wear on you. And I hate to sound like that guy, but it was enough for me to, like, you know, it wasn't enough for me to keep it, and those were enough reasons I moved it down the road. I don't want to say like I just like closed the door on it then, but it kind of backburnered. I found other basses, not in that price range, which I'll talk about in a moment, but I found other basses that work better for me with respect to what I needed from them, which was good tone and balanced weight. Not necessarily super light, but not 10, 11 pounds or whatever they were. So let's fast forward. SIRE has been continually making improvements on their basses, on their models, on their electronics, on their hardware. You know, one thing that I noticed with SIRE is that they are very attentive to feedback. You know, they have a lot of really solid players in all respects, and as far as scaling of players go, like where you're playing the nightclubs and the gigs, to session players, and all, just run the gamut of all of them. And that's one thing that I really appreciated about SIRE as I saw them through the years, is that they're very specific and in tune with customer feedback. You know, you mentioned the body weight, and as the models come through, they have these higher tier models that are pricier, but even their lower tier models, they made sure to pay special attention to those details, right? So this bass, I didn't weigh it, and I'm not going to look it up. I'm not going to bore you with that. You guys can do that. This bass feels really comfortable. I want to say it's probably somewhere in the 8-pound range, and that's totally fine. 3 pounds doesn't sound like a lot, but after 3-4 hours, and you have a, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or however you're doing it, kind of gigs or wedding gigs, or however you're doing it, whatever you're playing, the difference of that 3 pounds is tremendous over extended periods of time. One thing I did like that I noticed is they went with these brass saddles on this traditional style bridge. And I love the throwback to it. I love the look, and it works great. They kept it really simple. This is a passive bass. It's got volume and tone control. I want to say this is a bone nut. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Again, I'm not looking any of this up. I want to be as candid as possible with you guys. We're going to run through riffs and all that, and we'll do B-roll and all that later. But this one is just you and I talking. And if you have reservations or questions, put them in the comments below after you like and subscribe if you haven't, so we can circle back, because I definitely want to. Roasted maple neck. Now, I've been seeing a lot of overseas instruments go this route, and I think it's really cool. The roasted part, aside from the aesthetics of it looking really cool, and it matches really nice with this finish that they put on this bass. There's some sturdiness to that roasting part. The back of this neck is not gloss. It's got a really nice finish. It's fast. The frets came. Now, this came from overseas. They shipped it straight to us from overseas. And, you know, a lot of times when basses acclimate to different temperatures, whether it would have been East Coast or West Coast, or we're in Las Vegas, Nevada, you have a lot of times where those frets in the wood will shrink and expand and they become sharp, or you have issues. This bass, both basses, I should say, and I'll show you guys the other one later, they felt great. No issues at all. The neck was straight, didn't need a truss rod adjustment. It felt wonderful. Plugged in, sounds awesome. Tone control worked great. Volume control worked great. I had no issues. And I know that there were some issues that people have mentioned online with respect to some of these basses and all that, where they were having trouble with the electronics or they were having trouble with the truss rod. This is also really cool. SIRE addressed that. They saw a QC problem with some of their basses. They posted on their website and on their social media pages that they are aware and that they have been fixed, and they reached out to all of those people that had those issues, that reported those issues, and they got them squared away. I think that's great. I think that's tremendous. You know, they're a relatively new company, but the way that they're handling their business and their business model being so customer oriented and focused is awesome. It's a nice welcome change of pace. Not so many companies follow that model, and these guys are kind of blazing a trail. And a lot of them are getting better. I will say that. I'm not going to name names. I don't have to. You guys will have all your own horror stories, just like any musician. But we're talking about SIRE, and you know, I will absolutely eat my words. Everything that I didn't like about those initial introductory models when they first came on the scene have been addressed. And I really have nothing to say but positive things about this bass. They use, I noticed this also, the hardware that they have on here is their higher modeled hardware. It feels really good. They're very sturdy and strong. The keys feel fantastic. They're much thicker than I feel like the older models used to be. And again, I'm not a SIRE guru. I don't have all the names memorized. I know they have a V7 and a P5 and a D5, and there's an M model too. And some of their bases are like the top tier bases that are, I think they're $1,500 or in that range, between 12 and 15. They're beautiful. Aesthetically, they are tremendous. They use really nice wood tops, really nice bodies, really nice electronics and preamps. They sound great. Now, one thing that I really liked about SIRE, even since their inception, was that they're priced for budget-conscious players. And what I mean by that is they didn't cut corners with respect to the quality control for the instrument, but they made it affordable. And you know, especially now, you know, in times like that where you want an instrument that you're going to be able to rely on, but it's not going to be, you're not going to sacrifice quality for price. You know, the made in Mexico Fenders are, I think currently right now, used ones are anywhere between $800 to $900. And new, I want to say I saw a made in Mexico road-worn Fender Jazz at the local music store, and it was $1,300 before tax for a made in Mexican Fender. That's a lot of money. This bass, and I believe their introductory, not that again introductory is bad, their Jazzes, their P bass that they have, and this bass, they're $500. $500. That is tremendous. And especially for people that are looking to just get their feet wet or just get started in playing the bass. This company would be one I would definitely recommend, and here's why. You know, oftentimes parents, if you're buying an instrument for your children, or adults, if you're looking to get into an instrument and you look online and there's all these super boutique basses and you have just such a wide array of options, you kind of get like overwhelmed, right? Because price plays a factor. The last thing you want to do is buy your kid a $1,000 jazz bass and then they wind up not playing it anymore, right? That's one of our, as a parent myself, that's something that I'm constantly cognizant of is that return on investment. And with an introductory model, if you're first time playing, this would be something that I would definitely look towards, because $500 is substantially cheaper than most of the other options you'd have out there that are overseas. And a lot of the basses that are going to be in that price range will suffer in quality, in terms of quality and playability. Does that mean that they'll be bad? No. You can find Squiers that play just as good as Americans, albeit very rare, and you can play your heart's content, all kinds of overseas instruments, and some of them are going to speak to you and some of them aren't. What I liked about SIRE is that for $500, you're not going to feel like you're overspending or overinvesting on something that might be a maybe. And I've been playing for a while. I know what I like, and as far as what I feel the bass should feel like to me, for it to be something that I would want to gig with, and what I want it to sound like. And again, this bass and the P bass, and we'll talk about that later, they're really, really nice. Again, for a passive instrument, it doesn't suffer from an aesthetic perspective. This looks great. There's two other finish options I believe they offer. They all come with the roasted maple neck. These upgraded quality keys in the bridge. The brass saddles is really cool. Love the hardware. Love the finish. Pick guard looks great. My only thing, if I had to have a thing, and this is something that could be easily fixed, is I'm not particularly fond of the low end response for the P bass and this bass. It feels like it's very mid-range focus, and it does that mid-range growl really well. I think these electronics would probably be my only reservation, right? I'm not even going to say complaint, because I don't have initially a complaint. I think if I had to pick something that I was just kind of stuck on, right? Anything, if anything, would be the pickup, right? And that's an easy fix. We're going to do some videos later where we mod both of these SIRE basses with pickups from companies that we're currently working with. Chris is talking with EMG, and you've seen tons of videos with them. Their pickups are really, really, really nice. I am just getting my feet wet with EMG pickups. I used to use them in different basses for different models, but I kind of steered away from them because they weren't my favorite. Chris is changing my mind with a lot of these other pickups that they're doing, and the stuff that he's working with them on. I think you'll be really happy with what these pickups are going to be able to do for these basses, and it's a small investment for a huge return for a minimal issue. And I don't even like calling it an issue, because I don't think it is. I really don't. I think if you pulled this out the box and you took it to a gig, you'd be happy with it. I really do. And I'm not saying that for any other reason other than being honest with you guys. If you have these SIRE basses, you guys can attest to it. And if you don't, and you see one on the wall in whatever music store that you have in your vicinity, don't be shy. Go play it. I really think you'll be surprised. And I know I was, because I admittedly was coming into this thinking it was going to be what I experienced those years ago when they first launched. I was like, oh, this bass is going to be heavy. I'm not going to be happy with that pickup tone because the preamp is going to be really hot. You don't even have to worry about a preamp with these because they're passive, but you know what I mean? I had my mind made up, and you're not supposed to do that. But I did. I'm glad I was wrong. I really am. I am glad I was wrong, because this bass, specifically this style, 51 style bass, it sounds great. It sounds great with a pick. It sounds great with a tone roll back. I put a mute on, and it had a really cool tone to it. If you want that kind of nostalgic, kind of vintagey vibe, P-bass style vibe, that passive tone that a lot of people really latch onto. I've never really been a passive P-bass purist. Triple word score. Never. But I could see the allure of it. I really can, because it's ready to go, right? You don't got to worry about batteries. You don't got to worry about X, Y, or Z. You just pull it out the gig bag and you play. I wish I could tell you anything that I didn't like about this. They're made overseas. They're Indonesian, made in Indonesia, and $4.99, right? I think that's the go-to price on their website. I have to check and see if Zound sells them. I want to say they do. I'm not 100%, but whoever you get them from, right? Preferably Zounds, because that helps us, but whoever you get them from, you're going to be happy with it. I really think so. I want to say that. I don't want to speak for you. I think you'll be happy with it for a $500 investment. And you can get a gig bag with it too. I want to say the gig bags are separate, but they're only like, I don't know, less than $100, call it. These are D'Addario strings. Huh. I thought maybe it kind of a missed opportunity. They didn't use the Marcus Miller strings, but maybe they just threw them on. I don't know. Try one. I love the roasted maple neck. It feels really good. Again, that's one of my favorite things I should mention. All right, the neck feels fast. It's smooth. I like that it's not glossed, and that roasted maple. It looks really nice, doesn't it? I mean, again, especially with this finish, this just feels like a bass that you would grab from like 60s, 70s, 50s, whatever. It just feels like it has that vibe, right? And plugging it in and playing it, it definitely does. I'm excited for you guys to see the playthroughs that we'll do with these. I appreciate your guys' time. We're going to talk about the other P bass that we got from them also. But let me know what you thought about this bass, about your experiences with it. If you've played one, specifically this model, let me know. If you haven't, let us know. If you have questions, we want to revisit this, and this is going to be ongoing. The Gear Talk thing is a great opportunity for us to hear out specifically what you guys are giving as far as feedback, what your interests are with respect to the instrument or whatever we're talking about. Chris has done some awesome videos already on the bridge, the saddleless bridge, and that one was interesting to me. I saw some really interesting comments on that, and I had some comments myself, but I don't know. I don't know. You guys said all the stuff that I had questions on, so I didn't have to say much. But I am curious what you guys think on this one. So let us know in the comments. Click the bell for notifications. Come talk crap about me and Chris and everything else. But give SIRE a try. This bass is awesome. I appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you next time.